So what do we have here? We have the title page of a book called Minerva Britannia, published in 1612 by a man called Henry Peacham. And this is a book full of anagrams, emblems, riddles, tricks. It's a glorious book. If you can buy a facsimile of it, do, but you'll be absorbed forever staring at it and trying to work out all its mysteries. We're just going to look at the title page and see the great mystery here pertaining to Shakespeare. Okay, let's look at the top. First thing we see is two lighted candles, candles bringing light of knowledge, of wisdom, enlightenment, burning themselves out for our pleasure. Hidden, hardly visible, just there by those candles you can see some writing. It's deliberately hardly visible, it's deliberately disappearing. Ut aliis me consumo, it says. In the same way, in the same way as these candles, I consume myself for others. So who's the I? Who consumes himself for others? Well, I suppose the most obvious answer is Minerva Britannia. That means the British Minerva. Who's the British Minerva? Well, we all know who the classical Minerva is. Classical Minerva, known as Pallas to the Greeks, was the goddess of knowledge, of wisdom, and also the patron goddess to the English in the Renaissance of playwrights, and also the patron goddess of arms. She was born fully armed out of the head of Zeus, shaking her spear. And in fact, it was her will who enabled her to shake spears. She made spears shake just by her will. Famously, Achilles' spear, which shook and enabled him to kill Hector. So she was the will that shakes a spear. So that's a classical Minerva. Who then is the British Minerva? Well, it's pretty obvious. It's Will Shakespeare, the famous playwright. Why, in what way he consumes himself like a candle for others, well, difficult to tell at this stage. Let's look at this central section and see how it relates to what we've just seen. Okay, there you see a wreath, and a laurel wreath or a bay wreath, which is what is put upon the head who crowns a great poet. More than a great poet, this hidden figure coming out from behind a curtain seems to be a Jacobean or Elizabethan theatre curtain. So not just a great poet, he's a great playwright. If we look at the scroll that's round the wreath, it has written on it, Vivitur ingenio caetera mortis erunt. And that means genius lives, or genius lives on, and everything else ends in death. So genius, your works are all that last. Everything else, including your name, disappears over time, ends in death. If we turn the thing round, this is quite interesting because what we were looking at, which was the hand of a hidden playwright behind a curtain, has now become a rather grand, noble figure in nobleman's robes, sitting down, his right hand writing on a scroll. He's sitting on top of a coronet, and we know that's an earl's coronet because of the raised pearls there. Only an earl has raised pearls on his coronet. So whoever this figure is, he is an earl. Interesting. What's he writing? Mente videbor. With the mind, I will be seen. So we're going to use our brains, use our minds to find him, to see him, find out who this fellow is. Actually, there's another way of reading this. With the mind, I will be seen, i.e. the letter I. Use your mind. See if you can see a hidden letter I there. Yes, there it is. It's actually the nib of the quill he's holding, and the dot he's doing form a sort of quasi-letter I. So we found our I. Let's put that together with mente videbor and make an anagram out of it. Mix the letters about. There we go. Tibinum de Vere. Your name is de Vere. Whose name is de Vere? Let's go back to the title page here. Minerva Britannia. Remember the will that shakes a spear. And then down here, mente videbor turns into tibi non de Vere. Your name is de Vere. So the hidden writer down there, who's an earl, is saying to Minerva Britannia, your name is de Vere. The will that shakes a spear, will Shakespeare, your name is de Vere. How ingenious is that? And you see in the centre there how the playwright, the hidden playwright behind the curtain, you turn him round and he's an earl, and you turn him round and he's a hidden playwright again. Great brilliance. Well done, Henry Peacham.